to answer this too.
Mhm.
So when you say control, there's a difference between control and ownership. So,
Hey, could you just read the question out just in case people are listening on the back end on the
oh yeah,
podcast?
yeah, sure. It says,
No.
"Is PulseChain truly decentralized if RH has so much control of it?" Um, when you say control, there's two different things. So there's decentralized ownership, which means everybody has the same amount in a nice little um, happy-go-lucky environment, which is never the case because the good traders will always end up with the most of it,
Mm,
and the wreck plebs will end up with none. So that
yeah.
doesn't work. If you look at the top, however many 20, 30 coins, and see how much centralized ownership there is, you would be quite surprised to see that almost every coin has a centralized ownership aspect of it. You've got Jeff Bezos owning the majority of Amazon. You've got Elon owning the majority of Tesla. Centralized control is a good thing for the right places. Zuckerberg owns the majority of Facebook. There's nothing wrong with that. It protects the price. Why would he wreck his own project? He's not going to. So that question is kind of like one of those concern troll questions that really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, and they all do it. So you can't just single him out for owning the majority of PulseChain or owning the majority of Hex or whatever it may be. It's not enough. It's not a factor, I believe. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, not only that, but another thing to remember too, and we had this discussion before with Bitcoin maxis who shit on Hex or Richard Hart or PulseChain or anything
Yeah,
else basically that isn't Bitcoin.
right.
To
And
remind them, like Bitcoin was ultimately completely centralized at the beginning. Like
sure,
the more centralized something is at the beginning, is the bigger opportunity that you have in the beginning. Yeah, you are taking risk. I mean, like
right.
these things are all risky. Obviously, you may argue that these are the biggest risk. Well, okay, nobody can tell you to invest in something or how much to invest in something, but if you have done the research and you put in a dollar amount that is comfortable to you, just know that you could stand to gain a much higher reward with something being so centralized at the beginning like that. I mean, it's the
Yeah,
way Bitcoin was. We have to remember that. So
yeah.
yeah, good stuff
Um,
from Cody
and
Pauly there. Yeah, go
Rimrod
on.
said, "Not trolling. I'm in PulseChain," and
I had a feeling he was.
I
Yeah.
didn't mean you were trolling. I said that comment is something that a concerned troll would say. I'm happy you're in PulseChain. I didn't mean it as I wasn't pinpointing you, but there are a lot of people that come into the chats and just say that, and it's one of those things that causes unnecessary concern when there really isn't need for it, as many coins do the same thing. As you said, Satoshi owned a million coins before anybody was really able to mine anything on their own. So
Right. Yeah.
it's slowly faded out to where as as the increase and of tokens kind of came onto the market, um, that number was slowly dwindled down to where it was less of a percentage. So same thing will happen with Hex as the inflation rate goes up over time. Now, the weird thing with PulseChain is it is more deflationary because of the amount of tokens burned. As I just mentioned, all these validators that are coming offline. With each one of those original validators that come offline, there are 32 million pulse that were set in each one that are actually being burned. So just in the last day and a half or so, we've had 15 billion pulse chain burned. Do you remember what the statistic was from the start? I think it was on Pulse Burn, wasn't it?
Oh, the one I was reading to you earlier.
Yeah. How
Yeah,
many
it
how many
was.
were burned? 134 billion.
I know the dollar amount was 11 million
Yeah.
Pulse Chain and 5 million Pulse X. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
It is definitely crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Good stuff.
I'm
And
gonna share that real quick because Yeah, it's 134 billion pulse have been burned, and 154 billion pulse X have been burned.
Yep.
So pretty cool. Pretty cool statistic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been working flawlessly so far. We understand people are upset at the price, but I mean, that's what's going to happen at
Yeah.
a launch, which we're going to get into here in a moment. But
Yeah.
just putting a bow tie or a bow, whatever the hell I'm trying to say, on the new SEC Stabilization Act. Yeah, it'll be interesting. More power to Davidson and Emmer. We'll hope you guys do get it done. And nobody wants Gary Gensler in there. We all see that it's one of those issues where like you're really doing a rare thing in life if everyone hates you. And, if you're Gensler, I think that's kind of the corner that he's painted himself into. I don't know
Yep.
why anybody would be a fan at this point. Yeah, so we'll see where that goes.